It's hard to believe that my 7th Bean to Bar mystery is already about to come out. It's called The Chocolate is Announced, and it takes place partially in a hotel, and my character's aunt is putting in a garden. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of hotel garden, hotel landscaping. This is in Rockwall. We're right by the Hilton. It's got a nice path leading down to the harbor. It's interesting that that harbor is where, when I was a brand new writer, I had a couple of murder mystery plays, and they were produced aboard a paddle boat that was out on this lake. It's not there anymore, but there is still some nice stuff out here. So I'm going to show you guys the lighthouse and the boat slips. And then of course, we're going to look for coffee, and we will enjoy any chocolate we can find. As an author, a live play was really cool to see. It was almost like they reached into my head and actually brought my words to life. It's kind of sad that the paddle boat isn't out here anymore, but I do still have the memories of that. And it's something to see an audience react in real time to your words. That's one of the challenges as a writer, is you put all this work into something and you don't know until after it's complete how the jokes are going to hit, where people are going to laugh, if you got the timing right. And so I think that was really good training for me early on. And it shows up in the book because we have a murder mystery play in progress, and I had a whole other layer of plot with the character names and all of the fun stuff that people were coming up with. Check out the water. It's really nice today. I'm going to take you guys all the way down so we can see some of these boats. You guys know me. If it's water and there's boats, or if we can get in the water or there's something fun to do, I'm always for it. In a minute, I'm gonna walk out to the lighthouse, give you guys a close-up, but I don't want to make you wait while I walk all the way there. Look, we found some ducks just hanging out under the bridge. This is the Scott Self Lighthouse at the harbor. This is the second lake lighthouse that I've seen in the past couple of videos. Out on the dock, the whole thing is floating, so everything's moving up and down just a little bit. We're so close to the highway, but we feel completely separate from it. Looks like there's probably a little park or something right over there. Jake plays a game called Ingress, so he's over there checking out a portal, because anytime you see a piece of art, it's bound to have something connected with it. So that's some kind of guitar sculpture. When?
So playing Ingress out here a little bit, and there's quite a few portals out here to capture or play with. One of the ones over there is a sculpture guitar. It has like a sunset picture painted on it. And of course behind me you can hear the fountain, which is another one. Earlier I captured, I'm thinking of the amphitheater. I can't remember if it was the amphitheater or what, but I was able to use both of those to form a field. And so most of it's blank out here, so it's pretty well wide open for me to do whatever I need to.
One thing I like about Jake playing Ingress is that he always finds some kind of cultural point of interest that I didn't even know existed. And we wind up walking a little bit more because it's a certain range of motion that allows you to claim a portal or do anything with the game. So which team are you on?
Blue.
Okay.
Blue and green.
So Team Blue. So here's the fountain that is the other cultural feature Jake found out here. I don't really see anything going on with it at the moment. It was on a minute ago, but we'll check back. Flowers. Who doesn't like an unexpected pop of color, especially when you're thinking about landscaping? About to check out our first coffee spot of the day. We're heading for Huckabee's. Haven't been before, but it got some really good ratings on Yelp. So we're about to head in and check it out. So it turns out that Huckabee is actually the otter that is their mascot logo. Unfortunately, it's not based on a real animal, but still very cute. And the cortado was really nice. The barista made it with a dark roast espresso, especially for me. So I am very caffeinated and ready to find our next stop. So if you're looking right across from the harbor, there's what they call an urban beach park. And there is a shallow water area, but it's surrounded by pavement rather than sand, which is what I kind of expected. But it is really lovely out here. So we'll go down and look at the water here in a second. So honestly, this reminds me a little bit of the water gardens in Fort Worth, which are always interesting to walk around. The water cools everything off a little bit, so that's always nice in the summer. Lots of things have been changing in North Texas, and in little towns all over, there's businesses popping up and people moving to different areas. We ourselves moved a little ways out of the center into Princeton, and there are some things that have stayed the same. So here we are in Rockwall's downtown, and we're gonna go check out a dessert bar. I couldn't find an actual chocolate maker out here, but we will find some chocolate one way or another. We always do. And this is on the historic square. So there's a historic courthouse out here, a bunch of historic buildings, and they all have a new twist with different people occupying some of the shops. Okay, so case in point about change, the dessert bar that we were looking for is no longer there. It is now a dress shop, but we're going to check out Fable and Fire, which is a bookstore slash bistro. Chocolate milk cake.
Ah. Their curls are melty.
We did find an awesome chocolate cake in there, and I got to talk to the manager about possibly setting up a book event. That's one thing about being an author, is you have an excuse to talk to everybody. So we're about to go check out one more spot today called Honey Locust Farms. It's a garden center slash event venue slash gift shop, so this should be really interesting. So here we are at Honey Locust checking it out. So we're here on the event venue side out at Honey Locust, and they're in the process of setting up for an event, so we're going to try and be unobtrusive here. But they've got a lot of outdoor space as well as some inside event venue with a garden theme. So since we're talking gardens today, it seems like the perfect spot to wrap up. There is also a coffee bar in there, so we're going to check out yet another cup of coffee. To wander around a greenhouse, especially when you have somebody to hang out with and a good cup of coffee. This is a really nice place to just look around. There's some lantana here, if you guys can see. It's one of my favorite plants. It attracts butterflies. It does get pretty big, so the first time we planted it, we didn't really know that, and we put it in a border garden right out front of our house, and we kept having to cut it back because it grew out of control. Jake has always been a huge fan of daylilies because his grandpa used to crossbreed them, and for a long time we had a plant that was a variety that nobody else really had, but we moved into an apartment for way too long and we don't have that daylily anymore. But these are gorgeous. I remember this stuff growing up. Seems like almost everybody had it in their yard. Look, they have some little palm trees. These are one of my favorite style of palm. They're just so close to the ground. Oh man, this really takes me back. When I was growing up in the backyard, we had a fence and it was completely covered with blackberry bushes. So you got to be careful planting these because they will take off. Unlike blueberries, which are a little bit harder to grow. Check it out, y'all. It's a key lime tree. I love key limes. And they're small enough, you might actually be able to grow that in a container. There's a butterfly in here. We're going to try and get close without it flying away. One of the easier fruit trees to take care of is a fig. And it also brings me back to childhood because my grandmother had one and we would can figs every summer. And then when we had the house in Arlington, we had a nice large fig tree and we would get a good number of figs, whichever ones we could keep the birds from getting. And Jake's feeling all nostalgic now, so we may have to buy some plants before we leave. Yeah, so Jake grabbed the fig tree and now we're backtracking to the daylilies because they're so pretty. We need a couple. Thank you for joining in our coffee and chocolate field trip through Rockwall. We're gonna take our plants and we're gonna go check out. Y'all have a good day.